Happy Easter, y'all. So this is the end of week 3 of my market prep, trying to hurry up and get ready for all of my market season. And I have a fun announcement, so stay tuned. So, first off, if you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name's Claire. I'm a crochet artist here in mid-Michigan. I make crocheted plushies mostly, sometimes some tapestries and some other stuff too, but primarily plushies, and I am getting ready to start my market season. Now, number one, I understand the lighting in here is a little bit weird. I'm experimenting with some lighting here in my basement because the overhead lighting washes me out really, really bad. That being said, let's get into everything that I made this week for week 3, trying to get to $20,000 worth of inventory. So for anyone who has watched my previous week 1 and week 2 videos, you know that my progress is not getting there. But I did make some new progress. So let's start with smallest to largest. So my smallest items that I made this week are tops to mini whales. So as you can see, they've got their little tail fins and their side fins. And I made a grand total of 4 of those this week. I sell them for $6 a piece. They all just kind of go in a bin for people to sort through. Along that line, I also got the tops done to the Chez du Coton Stingrays, and I got a total of 3 of those done. So they just need eyeballs. They need to be sewn together. They need the bottoms done. Next up, I've got 4 bee keychains. These are stuffed, they just need the wings, and I put those on when I put on the actual keychain attachment. So I have 4 of these done, and I did 2 different colors this time. So I've got one really light yellow and then one that's like more of a bright yellow. I think it's the color School Bus. So I have a grand total of 4 of those. Next up, I've got mini cats. This is my loaf cat pattern. It is not released yet. I have 1 and 2. I got 2 of those done this week, and I sell them for $8 each. I also sell my crocheted lavender for $8 each. Or sorry, I sell these for $6 each. What am I thinking? Anyway, this is my crocheted lavender. I made 5 of them this week, and these are completely ready to go in the bin. These are ready for full inventory. So that's 5 of the lavender. Next up, I did make 1 leggy frog. He just needs eyeballs and then stuffed and sewn. I also made 3 chunky cats. Their tails are tucked in. They need to be stuffed and sewn. But as I've said in my last couple of videos, making this much inventory before my season starts creates a bit of a storage issue. So I'm waiting to stuff them until like right before shows so that I'm not taking all of this inventory and trying to stuff it into little bins like the one back here. But I've got 1, 2, and where's my third one? Here's my third one. Number 3. Also this week, I got an axolotl done. This one is going to be baby safe, so I'm going to embroider eyes, which is why it is stuffed and has no eyeballs. And after that, I have been playing around with this tarantula pattern from B2B or Beta-B, I'm not really sure. I absolutely love these. This is my 5th one, so I got 1 done this week. I got 4 done last week. I also got an Ace the Alligator done. This does need to have his toes done still, but he is like 99% complete, so we're going to count him as complete. But how cool are his little back scales? I love him. I made a green one last week and I posted it in my vendor group chat for one of my bigger shows this year, and he may actually already be sold, so I had to make another one just in case. All right, and Moving on, this week, instead of making a lot of little things, because I do have a lot of little things already, I decided to shift my focus to making a couple of bigger, like, standout items. And my Ace the Alligator, I plan on selling for $50 to $55, probably $50, but we'll see. So I wanted to make a couple things that are, like, bigger than he is. Because otherwise, the jump for my plushies goes from $50 to $125. And I want to have something else that's, like, in that range. So, next up, both of these patterns are by the same pattern creator. I will put her Etsy link here. Her name is Denise. She is, I believe, German. So she does her patterns in German and I think French and English, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so this is the English version of the pattern. This is her donkey. How stinking cute is this guy? So his little legs just kind of like fold so that he can sit. And his little tail in the back. Isn't he adorable? I absolutely love him. I might like tack the ears together a little bit. I'm still deciding if I want to have them up a little higher. Let me know in the comments if you think that he looks good as is or if I need to have his little ears up a little bit. Either way, this guy right here is going on my table and his starting price is going to be $65. Last but certainly not least, for my market preps for last week, is another pattern by Denise. And this pattern, let me just give you a little bit of a story time about how I came across these patterns. So I got commissioned to make a lion 2 Christmases ago. And I couldn't find a pattern that I liked, so I sent like a bunch of different pattern options to the person that was commissioning this lion from me. And she picked one, and it was from Denise. And I went to Etsy, and I went to purchase this pattern, and I clicked purchase, and it did not go through. So I clicked purchase again, and it did not go through again. So I clicked purchase a 3rd time, because I'm getting frustrated, and it went through, and it went through for all 3 times that I clicked purchase. So instead of paying $6 for this pattern, I just paid for 3 copies of this digital file. And so I messaged her on Etsy and I explained what happened and I said, hey, you know, I understand that this probably looks like a scam. I promise it's not a scam. What do I do? Like, can you refund me for it? Can we work something out? And she said, well, you know, I don't really want to do a refund on it. That's really kind of against policy. But what I can do is if you like other patterns in my collection, if you want to pick 2 other patterns and send me your email address, I'll just email you the files. That way it'll work out like you purchased 3 patterns from me. You'll have 3 patterns. And I'm like, oh, that's fine because I like a lot of your other stuff too. So I picked that donkey and then I also picked her Rocco the monkey pattern. And she said, hey, just a heads up. I don't have the monkey pattern in English. It's only in German. Is that okay? And I said, totally fine. I have Google Translate. How hard could it be? I'll figure it out. I'm really not worried about it. I'm pretty good at reading patterns at this point. So, I got this monkey pattern from her and it's the most adorable little monkey wearing overalls. Like, I love this pattern. Well, so I've been holding on to these now for 2 years and decided that I need to make these patterns. So, I made the pattern and number 1, it came out way bigger than what I thought it would. But number 2, Google Translate does not work very well with abbreviations. So, Google Translate doesn't understand that the abbreviations are different between a half double crochet and a back loop only. So I did have to redo the head a couple times to get this thing done. But, are you guys ready? Look at him! Isn't he so adorable? I do need to do a little bit of like embroidery here on his mouth. But like, how cute is he? He's so big. So like for reference, you know, here's my head, my big head. He stands pretty tall and he's got a nice long tail and his little overalls, they're a little crisscrossed in the back. I mean, his head, look how big his head is compared to mine. Like, this is a big plushie. So, this guy I am starting at $85. And he may be the only one that I make, so he'll just be on my table. If he sells, great. If he doesn't, that's okay too, because I think he's going to bring people into my booth. He does sit, so just like her other patterns, they're not stuffed here on the top of the leg so that they can just kind of fold up and sit. So he can sit just like this, but he also is very well balanced, so I can have him like sitting on something and he's not going to fall over. But one thing I will say is that I used sinker safety eyes for him. I've got the big glittery safety eyes. Her pattern does not use the sinker eyes, and it has other embroidery that goes like over the eyelid. And I do kind of wish that I had done that, because with the sinker eyes, you can't do as much like embroidery around them because it eats the yarn on the outside. And so I'm not 100% sure. Like, maybe I will make another one just so that I can do an embroidery around the eyes. But otherwise, like, this guy's done. He's going on my market booth, and I'm so excited for him. Like, he's just so stinking cute. So, that being said, that's everything that I made this week. Obviously, the monkey and the donkey took up a lot more time than a lot of the smaller plushies, and I don't always recoup my time on those in the price. And so my market prep for this week did seem a little bit low. And I knew going into this week that these were on my to-do list, and I knew that I wasn't going to make as much as what I normally would in a week. So like last week I did, I think $515 or $518 worth of plushies. And I knew that this week I was going to be a little bit below that, which is disappointing because my goal was to be making like $1,200 to $1,500 worth of plushies every week. But number one, my work schedule doesn't accommodate that. And number two, my hands can't take that. So we are just chugging along trying to get as much stuff done as we can safely without hurting my hands, and also while still maintaining high quality in my plushies. So the grand total for this week is $430. So if we're adding that to my previous inventory from last week, which was $5,663, my new inventory grand total is $6,093. That's a decent way to start my show season. It's not perfect, and I will be working towards making a lot more here in the coming weeks. But I know I keep saying this and we're still not, caught up. We're still not there. But I also have some news. Okay. So this is where I tell you that my timeline for my shows has actually moved up. So in my previous videos, I have said that I have, I was going to have 8 weeks until my markets started. So then this week I should have 6 weeks until my market starts. Well, that has just moved down to 3 weeks because I got into the Maple Syrup Festival in Shepherd, Michigan. And I was waitlisted, and as a crocheter, like, if you get waitlisted for a show, I just expect that I'm not going to be accepted to that show because it's so competitive and there's probably other crocheters ahead of me on the list to get into these shows. I got an email like 2 days ago that I got in. So they had a couple of booths open up for indoors, and it's $125 for a 3-day show. They bring in over 20,000 people to this show, and it's not primarily a craft show. There is, it's all things maple syrup. They're going to have all-you-can-eat pancakes, a pancake eating contest. They'll have pony rides and kids' play places and things like that. They're going to have a parade. Like, it's a big thing for that town. And I've never been to this before, but I am in part of a Michigan vendor group that reviews shows. So I searched up this Maple Syrup Festival, and it's got pretty good reviews from vendors who have said that they do really, really well at this show. So I'm excited. I immediately paid my booth fee, and I am doing this show. The problem with that is then I started this YouTube series on trying to make as much inventory as I can before my show season on an 8-week countdown. And that has just jumped to a 5-week countdown. I'm still going to do this for all 8 weeks, but you will also have a market recap and a market day video coming up in the middle of those, I guess. That being said, subscribe if you want to watch. You know, every time that somebody likes my videos, subscribes to my videos, or watches them all the way to the end, it really, really helps out my channel. And I'm almost at 500 subscribers. So if you'll do me a favor, just go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you can see when my next video comes out. My goal is to have these out either every Sunday or every Monday, all the way up through my market season. So we'll see how that goes. That being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.